In this solve-along video, we'll explore how to factor quadratic trinomials with non-1 leading coefficient. And we'll do this extensively so that you'll have godlike exam results. There are plenty of scenarios for factoring general quadratic trinomials, which is why we split it up in bite sizes so that it is much easier to understand. This is the second part, and we'll focus on factoring quadratic trinomials with non-1 leading coefficient. So, if you have no clue how to factor quadratic trinomials with leading coefficient 1, or you haven't seen our video for it yet, then be sure to click the I button. Because if you don't have that knowledge, I can guarantee that you'll be making these facial expressions watching any video about factoring quadratic trinomials with non-1 leading coefficient. Factoring quadratic trinomials with non-1 leading coefficient is a step above those with leading coefficient of 1. They are very similar, but this one would involve more trials and errors. It can be really tricky to do, and can sometimes even be frustrating if you're not familiar with the process. So, let's proceed to the solve-along worksheet. There will be a 3-second countdown before I start solving each problem. You can pause the video to solve it on your own first, and then continue playing the video to see if you're correct. Alright, let's learn how to factor quadratic trinomials with non-1 leading coefficient. Write the trinomial in factored form and include the blanks that we'll fill out later on. There are 2 cyan blanks for the coefficients and 2 yellow blanks for the constants. The product of the first terms in the binomials should be equal to 2x squared, which means that its coefficient is the integer 2. There really aren't many candidate factors for this, and those factors are 2 and 1. Alright, let's rewrite its factored form. Now, we are left with only the yellow blanks. The next step is trial and error, and can be considered the longest step when factoring quadratic trinomials with non-1 leading coefficient. Since both the middle term and the last term are positive, it means that you only need to consider factors of 10 that are positive. Fill in the yellow blanks with factors of 10 and perform polynomial multiplication on each pair. Let's multiply the first candidate factors. The resulting middle term is 21x, but since we're looking for 9x, this candidate is incorrect. Let's multiply the second candidate factors. The resulting middle term is 12x. Again, this candidate is incorrect. Let's multiply the third candidate factors. The resulting middle term is 7x. Incorrect candidate. Multiply the last candidate factors. The result is 9x, which is exactly what we are looking for. Now that we have verified these factors, the final answer is 2x plus 5 times x plus 2. Write the trinomial in factored form and include the blanks that we'll fill out later on. There are 2 cyan blanks for the coefficients of the factors of 6x squared, and 2 yellow blanks for the factors of 7. The product of the first terms in the binomials should be equal to 6x squared. There are a few candidates which are 6x times x and 3x times 2x. Write down the possible combinations based on the factors of 6x squared. The next step is trial and error. Since the middle term is negative and the last term is positive, it means that the factors of 7 must be negative. Fill in the yellow blanks with factors of 7 and perform polynomial multiplication on each pair. Let's compare the middle terms of each candidate factors. For the first candidate factors, it is negative 13x. For the second, it is negative 43x. And for the third, it is negative 17x. All of which are not equal to negative 23x. Which means that all of these candidates are eliminated. The middle term of the fourth candidate factors is negative 23x, which is exactly what we are looking for. Let's rewrite the factored form a little bit. The final answer is 3x minus 1 times 2x minus 7. By the way, please support Teach Me Animated Math by liking this video. And if you're new to our channel, then click the subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you get notified whenever we upload new videos. Okay, let's continue. Write the trinomial in factored form and include the blanks. There are 2 cyan blanks for the coefficients of the factors of 10x squared, and 2 yellow blanks for the factors of 5. The product of the first terms in the binomials should be equal to 10x squared. There are a few candidates which are x times 10x and 2x times 5x. Write down the possible combinations based on the factors of 10x squared. The next step is trial and error. Since both the middle term and the last term are positive, it means that the factors of 5 must be positive. Fill in the yellow blanks with factors of 5 and perform polynomial multiplication on each pair. Let's compare the middle terms of each candidate factors. For the first candidate factors, it is 15x. For the second, it is 51x. For the third, it is 15x. All of which are not equal to 27x, which means that all of these candidates are eliminated. The middle term of the fourth candidate factors is 27x, which is exactly what we are looking for. Now that we have verified these factors, the final answer is 2x plus 5 times 5x plus 1. And here is the answer key for this worksheet. I hope you learned how to factor quadratic trinomials with NON-1 leading coefficient in this solve-along video. Just practice, practice, practice! Factoring quadratic trinomials with NON-1 leading coefficient until it becomes second nature to you. And don't be afraid to make mistakes, since correcting them is part of your learning process. Our next solve-along worksheet video is about a faster way to factor quadratic trinomials with NON-1 leading coefficient. A simple trick in our next video will make the factoring process a lot less tedious. Be sure to check it out because our video will have step-by-step solutions that are very easy to follow. So be sure to subscribe to Teach Me Animated Math. And don't miss out. See you next time.